This is Rockport Ryan with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report.
Okay, this past weekend I went out with a wonderful organization, the Heroes on the Water Coastal Bend chapter. We were out all day and had some wonderful success. So we're going to give the report on everything that happened on that day. We launched out here from the Aquatic Center. When you're launching out from here in Aransas Pass, definitely come around to your right. Go through those canals there. That first opening, we wound up hitting into some redfish, and that was on topwaters. When you come out of that canal system, definitely come out, turn to the left, go along that ICW RV park. There, we were still using some topwaters, but also having some action with the paddle tails, still getting into some wonderful reds. Then we shot straight across, and you'll see that channel marker right at the dip in on that spoil island. Come far to the side of it. When you're over there, this right there along the ICW edge, massive school of trout. We started hitting into them there, and that was with the unfair shrimp 85 and tan and truce. Up against the actual shoreline was where the reds were hanging out. That's where we actually switched to some paddle tails, 1/8 ounce jig head, working our way all the way down this shoreline. As you turn and come up between these spoil islands, it's going to get a bit shallow, but right down the center was a ditch. And all in there, we actually got into a couple of flounder. In there, that was pure paddle tails. When you come up around the end of that island, there's actually a cut through. Park off the outside of that cut, and the fish will be coming right to you. That was the 85 unfair shrimp and tan and truce. Work your way on up between these islands. On the outside of these islands, again, we got back into the trout. This was on paddle tails on the trout tricks. When you come up to the actual Ransom Island, go ahead and beach your kayak on that beach and fish into that cut that's coming right there in front of the island, that deep cut. Just about every cast we put out there with paddle tails was pulling in some nice reds. Work all the way up this shoreline. It's going to get a bit shallow, but when you come around to this indentation right here by that first ruin, don't be afraid to go all the way up to that shoreline. Right, that transition between the grass and the sand was where we got into some more reds. That was on the paddle tails, the trout tricks. Root beer and chartreuse was doing a lot better than the fried chicken. Pumpkin seed and chartreuse, all of those were working. That whole shoreline, this whole outer shoreline of Ransom Island, all the way up to the point, we found the reds. Doubled back in, came back through that cut, hit some more reds. We drifted back across this whole flat out here, and a lot of the guys were hooking into reds. It didn't really matter what we were throwing. They were hooking into the reds. There were some stingrays mixed in with that, but they're real easy to get off with a pair of long nose pliers. Coming around the end of this island, come back into this chain of islands. On the inside of those islands was where we hit into another school of reds. That was all on subsurface with the paddle tails. If you've got gold spoons, they were working well. And then came back in, and on our way back in, if the tide's high enough, you can actually cut across to that little turnaround by the park. And once you get into that turnaround, we actually did manage a couple of trout in there, and then came back out, went back in, and had a great day.
This is Rockport Ryan. Thank you for watching.